Good evening, people. I'm Craig, and welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about Vechain. I almost said Dogecoin. We'll talk about Dogecoin at the very end. Vechain, it's been taking off in the last week. I talked about it 2 days ago, and it's already gone up substantially since then. I've done more fundamental research on it. We're going to talk about that. And I'm also going to do technical analysis to show you where I think the price of Vechain can go in the next few months and by the end of the year. I've seen people saying $3 and $4. Great. If that happens, awesome. I don't want to give you any overly optimistic price predictions. So I'm going to show you with some technical analysis where I think it's going to go in the next few months. And hopefully they get those $3 and $4, but I'm not saying that, just so you know. So let's get to the fundamental analysis now. I always go to coinmarketcap.com to get all my information. They have everything here. What's rank the exchanges, they rank the currencies. You can get into anything. Any coin you click on here, you can go to their website and you can go to their social media sites and you can find out a lot of stuff. Social media is actually very good, especially Twitter, because a lot of coins and knowledgeable people on the coins will be tweeting news well before the real news companies actually publish anything. So if you want to find out something as soon as it's happening, probably Twitter is your best bet. But as you can see, Vechain is now number 13. It wasn't even a week ago that it wasn't even in the top 20. It was considered a mid cap. And if it gets top 10, it's going to be considered a large cap. It's now worth $14.6 billion. And as you can see, in the last 24 hours, it's been up 21.25%. In the last 7 days, it's been up 59.95%. You can see the chart here. Let's just click on that. So what you do is you click here and you get to the Vechain page. So as you can see from the all-time chart, it's really a rocket ship, right? Especially near the right side of this chart. I bought back in August 2018. So I spent maybe a penny and a half for it. And there was a lot of time here where I was like, oh, this coin's going nowhere. But I'm glad I held on. I never sold my Vechain. I believed in the product. And as you can see, even here, maybe. So I was up a little bit here, but now it's 22, 23 cents. And it was yesterday a high of 28 cents. So you look at this chart and you think, Craig, I missed the boat here. I missed the boat. And that's just because you're seeing the chart compressed of everything that's ever happened to it. If you put it into a 1 month chart, it's not nearly as scary, right? So look at it from that standpoint. I'll get into the technical analysis after, but I just want to show you what this website can do for you. You can go to markets. It tells you what crypto exchanges you can buy it at. Obviously, Binance is a big supporter of this coin. You can also get it at Huobi Global and KuCoin. So there's other options there. But if you're on Kraken or something else, or Coinbase, you don't have access to it. Now, this isn't something I found a published story on, but I've heard a lot of conjecture that, especially if it gets top 10, Coinbase is going to add Vechain to their listings of possible coins. And that's going to be huge because Coinbase is the second largest crypto exchange behind Binance. So you get the second largest exchange that doesn't trade in it right now. If they adopt it, it's just going to even go further. Historical data is kind of funny because you can even see when we talked about it, I think April 14th, we talked about it. Anyways, one of these days, 14th or 15th, it was 16 cents. And I was saying, oh, I wish I talked about it yesterday or the day before because it was only 13 cents. Well, now it's at 23 or 24 cents. So, I mean, you haven't missed the boat. You didn't miss the boat 2 days ago or a week ago. And you're still probably not missing the boat now. But we'll get into that with the technical stuff. Socials, this is where you go for their tweets. And this one's one that's important. I was going to bring it up over here. This is the Vechain Foundation. They're the ones that the board of directors of Vechain. This is their website. And all the new news comes out here. So some things I've highlighted is they were mentioned in the Forbes 50 companies that are using blockchain. This whole thing was about how it's becoming widely adopted by corporations to use blockchain technology. And Walmart was mentioned as Walmart China is one of the biggest clients of Vechain. And they mentioned this during this thing. And that's why Vechain thanked this analyst here for mentioning them at this Forbes 50 conference, that Vechain is the one that's powering a lot of inventory management, tracking, and Walmart in China, which probably means Walmart in North America will soon be to follow, is one of their biggest clients on that. And another thing I wanted to highlight here was that Binance is now adding more trading options with different like VET versus the euro, VET versus the British pound, and that's good. Just more adoption, more people trading it. It means the price goes up. And another thing that's important to notice here is that just back on April 12th, they announced on Twitter that Vechain has found a way to reduce their gas fees by 99%. Now, something that you may not be aware of is Vechain not only is inventory management, but they have their own smart chain contract system similar to Binance's smart chain or Ethereum's smart chain, except they run their own smart chain and they are very efficient. So their gas fees are negligible, 99% reduction in the recent gas fees. So a lot of gaming companies, other companies that want to do NFTs or coins for their gaming system that they want to go through a smart contract chain, Vechain is now another option, especially if their gas fees are so low. In talking about new partners, the one thing that they said lately that gave them a lot of pump too was that they got together with Salesforce, which is salesforce.com, and they've decided that they tested putting their network on Vechain, and they were very happy with how the ease of use and on the adoption. So you get a big company like salesforce.com using the service. Again, these Twitter good news things come out all the time. In the news area, if you go back here and you go to news, you're going to see a listing of all the different news articles that have happened recently on Vechain. So you can jump right to that. It's kind of funny because this was written only back on April 5th. I mean, it's like in cryptocurrency language, that's like a lifetime ago. April 5th of 2021. So like, 12 days ago. And they were talking about how Vechain holders feel that they're way underpriced, which they were, and they're not impressed with the fact that they've only gotten to 10.6 cents. But they were saying that based on this sort of technical analysis, that when this breaks out, they were estimating they would get up to 13 cents. There was a poll on Real Vision of which is the most undervalued current cryptocurrency, and Vechain was listed number one at 65%. So there was a lot of consensus that there was a lot more room to the upside. And it's funny, not that long ago, this was what they were debating. And of course, they've more than surpassed that 13 cents. Not even 7 days ago, this article came out with enterprise level partnerships send Vechain price to new highs. By this point, it had already beaten that 13 cents. And they were talking about, they just set new highs at 13.44 cents. The increase in VET's prices adoption since beginning of February has also led to 1,000% increase in VTHO, which is their gas coin, which I just mentioned. When you stake Vechain, like I do on Binance, I get 1.1% additional Vechain coins, but I get 3-point-something% additional VTHO coins added into my spot wallet. So that's how you can build coins even without buying new coins. So it's pretty cool. I love Binance for that. So anyways, that's this article, just talking about all the new things that have gone on. Again, this is that Forbes. I clicked on this link to the Forbes top 500 or top 50 companies that are using it. You can go through this at your leisure. So that's what I said. Fundamentally, they've got a lot going on. Back at the CoinMarketCap thing, if you go to ratings, there's a bunch of ways that they rate them fundamentally and for growth. And as you can see, Vechain on their fundamental crypto asset score is an A right now, a score of 848. And you can see below here their graph of how they've performed recently has been going up. And that's just their growth level, their sales, and all this stuff. As far as they can tell, their fundamentals are an A right now, which is good. So I think we've covered the fundamental thing. So let's talk about the technical, because you're probably wondering, okay, Craig, you've convinced me. Vechain's got a lot going on. They've got a lot of new partners coming on. Things look bright, but have I missed the boat price-wise? So let's go into that now. Okay, so my favorite crypto exchange is Binance. I've mentioned that on numerous previous episodes. If you want to trade on Binance, you probably do. They've got the most coins. They have the best staking and interest of anybody. I checked for Vechain, for example, what the interest rates are. And you can go to a website like this that's called Coin Market Expert. And they talk about all the different companies you can go to stake your coins and the interest rates. And when I got down to here on Vechain, you can see that some places only give 1% staking. They don't have the top of the column showing, but this is actually Binance, and you get 1.1% return on your Vechain, but that 3.75% is how much extra VTHO you also get. So you can really add those together, and you're getting about almost 5%. So that's pretty good. And I went across and nobody else has better. In fact, most places don't even let you stake Vechain. So that's why I always use Binance, just because of all that staking ability. So let's get into another reason I like Binance is that they have the trading view charts for free. So if you've traded stocks, trading view is a nice charting system that if it's free, you can use the free version. You constantly have ads popping up in front of your face, which is really annoying. This is free on Binance TradingView. You don't have to pay extra for it. You get it. So I wanted to show you, this is sort of longer term. This is a daily chart of Vechain. And I wanted to show you how some people are getting these kind of maybe outlandish price predictions for Vechain. Some people are saying $3 and $4. I'm not willing to go quite that high, but what I'll do is I'll show you this. There's two ways to kind of, we're at all-time new highs, so it's kind of hard to say where's resistance because we don't have any previous resistance. So we're going to do Elliott wave first. So what I'll do is I'll take off the Fibonacci extension. Okay, so I've removed the Fibonacci extension. We'll just go with Elliott wave. The way Elliott wave works is from the low up, you count how many waves there's been. So this is one wave. Wave 2 is usually about 60%, but if you know Fibonacci's, it's 61.8. So it worked out to be perfectly. The wave 2 came down around 61.8, 62. Wave 3 is always the longest wave. And I should mention, this is a logarithmic scale around here. So the bottom is less squished and the top is more squished. Wave 3, now this is where we are today. And I'm sort of just saying, let's just assume yesterday's massive 28 cents was the end of wave 3. It might not be. Wave 3 might keep going up. It might end up being up here somewhere before we're done wave 3. But if we are done wave 3, then we would be expecting a pullback, and that would be considered wave 4. Wave 4 is usually about half the pullback of wave 2. So as you saw, wave 2 was about the 61.8 or 62%. Wave 4 then would be about half that if it followed the proper Elliott wave. So I just drew this on to show 30% pullback. And then we would have wave 5. And that's the part we're not 100% sure of. Usually wave 3 is the longest. So wave 5 is kind of a guesswork of how far it would go. And that's where I kind of eyeballed $1, which I know a lot of other YouTube experts on crypto have been saying higher than that, but I just want to be conservative here. Say if you could get to $1, that's a 4 times, so 400% increase from here. Nothing is guaranteed. Tomorrow something could come out, find out that the CEO of Vechain has got caught in some scandal and who knows what. So, I mean, this is all assuming that normal news cycles go on and that there's nothing unusually either good, which would shoot it up higher than it needs to go, or super bad that limits what would have been good growth. So I'm going for $1. And another way you can kind of corroborate that is to use the Fibonacci extension. So let's bring that back. So if you use the Fibonacci extension on top of the Elliott wave, you got the 1, 2, 3, 4. And where would 5 end? Well, there happens to be a 1.618 resistance level right around $1. So that's where it kind of backs up what I was already thinking. Again, wave 5 could be longer than that, could be shorter. And being that this is logarithmic, if you look at it, it doesn't take much of a longer stick here to make it go up to $2, right? Because the reason it's logarithmic is obviously if you're going from 20 cents to 25 cents, it's only 5 cents, but it's actually 20% of the value of its starting point. So you have to scrunch it in logarithmic because every nickel or dime going up means less when the dollar value you're starting with is higher. So that's why you use logarithmic to sort of see that. Now you're thinking, okay, but Craig, you just finished saying that we've gone up quickly recently. So how do I know when a good time is to buy it? And I'm looking at this right now because I drew this in earlier before I started recording, and you can already see what I thought was going to happen is already happening. So this is the most recent uptrend from down here, the little end of the candlestick to the top of this wick up here is the full movement. And that was yesterday. And I drew this Fibonacci in here and found out that right around here is when I drew this in. And I said, it stopped right at the 50% retracement, which is good. We'll see if it holds. So now that by the time I've recorded this, you can see it's already taken off from that. So that means in all likelihood, we are done going down. So I hate to say it, but right now would have probably been a good time to go in for the next wave. And the Fibonacci extension, next resistance would be here at 35 cents. And the next resistance after that is here pushing near 50 cents. So there's some room to grow, obviously. You can't say, did I miss it all the time? Because the way cryptocurrencies have been going up, we're in a crypto bull market right now, no doubt about it. I think unanimous belief is that at least till near the end of this year, 2021, we're going to be in a bull market based on the 4-year cycle of Bitcoin and the halvings and all these other things. Most things work out that Bitcoin will top out first, and then the altcoins will top out 2 to 3 months later. So there's a longer bull market still remaining for the altcoins like Vechain. So yeah, we got a lot of room to grow, in my opinion. Again, my opinion, do your own research. You're responsible for your own investing. But I think if you did get in now, you would probably thank yourself down the road. Now, could it turn around and come back and test this lower 0.618 retracement? Yeah, sure. Anything's possible. But I highly doubt, with the growth of VeChains, seeing that it's going to go back to the zero level, which really wasn't even that long ago. This is a 15-minute chart. We can go into an hour chart. You can see this is just the most recent move, 4-hour chart. You know, now when you see it like this, now you look at it and go, wow, this is straight up. But you're trying to figure out on a pullback, how could you get in? You want to get on this train, right? And you could say, well, I'm going to set my stop down here at 20 cents, and it may never hit. And then it tricks off and goes to 40 cents, 50 cents, $1 eventually, and you're sitting at the train station still holding your bags. You never got on the train. So you kind of have to decide where's a good pullback area, and it was probably a little bit earlier today, but never know. And if you're worried about getting in too high, then dollar cost average in. So round numbers, if you had $10,000 you wanted to invest, you would put 1,000 in today at today's price, hope for a pullback, and if it does pull back a little bit, put in another 1,000. If it starts to get the momentum going back up again, then you have to decide to adjust your buy points up. But as you can see here, if you look at some of the momentum indicators, there is some argument that the MACD is showing it's overvalued right now. So my suggestion is dip a toe in now and then hold a bunch back, that if VeChain and the other cryptocurrencies have maybe next week or the week after has a big pullback, that you would have dry powder to put to work. So there you go. So hopefully you found this enjoyable or informative. If so, show the channel some love by giving it a thumbs up. So as you can see, I started to record my give it a thumbs up as if it was the end of the video, and then I realized I didn't talk about Dogecoin and the craziness that's been going on there. So as you can see, if I take you back to the screen here, Dogecoin was up 333.78% in the last 7 days. That's insanity. It's down now 10.57% in the last 24 hours, 11%. It's changing by the second. So I just want to give you a little word of warning, and I'm not the only one. Dogecoin, in case you weren't aware, if you didn't notice from the silly coin in the top right corner, Dogecoin is really doggy coin. A guy created it as a joke coin, as a meme coin to make kind of fun of cryptocurrencies. And then people like Elon Musk and a bunch of other well-known people, actors and whatnot, got on board saying Dogecoin to the moon and all this stuff, mostly Elon Musk. And then all the Elon Musk lovers that think he walks on water started to go, yes, let's buy Dogecoin. And now it's worth $36 billion, the market cap. It's number 8, believe it or not, for a joke coin. But what goes up must come down, especially when there's no fundamental reason to have the coin. Like I just talked about VeChain and all the uses for it, all the companies that are getting on board to use their supply management and not, their smart chain technology and all that. None of that is true for Dogecoin. So be forewarned. If you get a 333% 7-day rise, take some profits. This is life-changing money for a lot of people, and it's just probably going to evaporate. I'm not the only one that thinks so. Let's pop over here to creator Charles Hoskinson, the Cardano creator, says down here, although Dogecoin entered the crypto world as a joke, he's going on, Doge has always been in our industry kind of an inside joke, a pet rock, a fun, lighthearted thing. It just seems to always be around, but something for the most part we have never taken seriously. But as he said, due to the efforts of Elon Musk, market manipulation by clever whales, Doge has become stratospheric. Let's be clear here. This is a bubble. The price of Doge is not sustainable. It's going to collapse, and a massive amount of retail money is going to be lost very quickly. That's what I've also been saying. Now, here's where he's saying it's going to hurt the whole industry. My thought is that after this bubble bursts, it will be a catalyst for regulators and lawmakers to get involved in our industry, and it'll hurt the entire industry. It's not a good event, and by no means is it sustainable. So think of GameStop And all these ones that the Reddit crowd got behind and blew to the roof, companies that literally their doors have been closed for almost a year, and these people are bringing it to stratospheric heights at one point, and then it came crashing back down. And a lot of people, a lot of new investors and millennials who don't know any better, were just following the crowd, lost a crap ton of money. And then the regulators get involved, and people like Robinhood decide they're going to say you can't short the stock anymore, and you can't do this and you can't do that, because they're worried about young investors losing all their life savings. So this is sort of the same thing. If Dogecoin collapses, like it's already starting to go down today, and a lot of young investors get hurt and they start moaning to the media that how I had $100,000 in crypto and I lost it all in Dogecoin, and then the politicians will want to jump on board and have their 5 minutes of fame and get on front of the cameras and say, we've got to regulate every cryptocurrency now to protect investors. So, So Dogecoin is Dogecoin. It's a joke coin. If you want to buy it, if you think it's going to be worth more down the road, take a tiny, tiny portion of your portfolio and play with it for fun. Call it fun. It's like being in a casino and you're spinning the roulette wheel. If you spin it enough times, you're probably going to lose your money, but it might be fun to spin a few times. But just treat it as it is. It doesn't have any fundamental value other than it being if it's worth more to you than I bought it for, I make money, and then you can try and turn around and sell it to the next guy, and the next guy tries to sell it to the next guy, and everybody keeps hoping that it's going to be worth more, and eventually it comes crashing down. So be forewarned. Get yourself into better cryptocurrencies than Dogecoin. So there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode and you found it informative. If so, show the channel some love by giving it a thumbs up. That always helps. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It'll be more content like this, more about investing, all different types, not only cryptocurrencies, but I will talk stocks and I will talk crypto stocks like mining stocks. I have stocks like Hut 8, Hive, Riot, Mara that I want to talk about. So it will be more than just crypto, but there will be a crypto slant a lot on this channel. So hopefully you're looking forward to that. All right. I'm wishing you nothing but happiness, health, and wealth in that order. So until next time, this is Craig signing off saying, ciao for now.